that a duo from Campbell Live was allowed to be among the first folks to tour the factory, the programme had, after all, organised the competition to find 5 Marmite mad people to take part. And so it was that TV3's answer to Morecambe and Wise then toured the factory alongside them, reaching this contrived conclusion.
Then it suddenly dawned on us. 5 winners, a new factory, an affable head honcho as tour guide. This wasn't just a tour, this was a test.
You know what he's doing? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's giving away the factory. Whoever he likes the most out of these contestants, he's going to give the whole factory to.
Well, the Campbell Live pair then eliminated all the other competition winners in front of their camera in order to be the last men standing, culminating in this set-up gag with the main man from Marmite.
I suppose that means you're the winners.
We're going to be rich, I tell you, rich!
The factory is ours. You can have as much toast with Marmite in this room as you want to.
What?
So far, so hilarious. But if TV3's Laurel and Hardy really wanted a stake in Marmite's manufacture, well, there was a far more straightforward way.
And you'll hear it very soon, because for this episode I've also managed to interview Colin Peacock of Mediawatch, and I wanted to know what he thought about this whole media hoopla, and if it really was true that there was no yeast-based spread like Marmite, as I asserted to my Seventh-day Adventist friends. And joining me now is the fearsome and rightly revered New Zealand broadcaster Colin Peacock. Colin presents my favourite New Zealand radio show that's not about veganism, Mediawatch. While my heart will always lie with my friend Julie Gunn's Wellington Access radio show Animal Rights and Wrongs, Sunday just isn't a Sunday without a new episode of Mediawatch to enjoy. Colin, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, no problem, Jordan.
You mentioned on the last show about an easy way to get a steak in sanitarium.
Oh. You can have as much toast with Marmite in this room as you want to.
What?
So far, so hilarious. But if TV3's Laurel and Hardy really wanted a stake in Marmite's manufacture, well, there was a far more straightforward way: joining the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which owns and operates the Marmite maker, Sanitarium. Now, Adventist theology resembles that of Protestantism, though it has Sabbath on a Saturday and strong health messages that push vegetarianism. So if that doesn't put you off, well, the meek may inherit the Marmite without recourse to contrived TV reports like that one.
I may be an atheist, Colin, but I have to say, the Seventh-day Adventists I know are pretty lovely people, and their weekly vegan cooking class is frankly awesome. So you're always welcome to join in next time you're in Invercargill for Adventist theology and great vegan food.
Well, next time I'm in Invercargill, I'll make sure I get in touch before I come down. But I mean, in all seriousness, I wouldn't want to put down in any way either veganism or indeed the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I mean, what I was trying to point out there was that in their well, I would call it desperation to dress up what was fairly clearly a kind of gimmicky TV report to give, yet more publicity to this launch of Marmite, which I would say it really doesn't warrant. The Campbell Live program, which had, after all, organised that very competition to go to the factory and so on, that it's actually not necessary to go to these lengths to contrive these reports. So to me, it was an irony that the Seventh-day Adventist Church owning a sanitarium and running it for the greater good of that church and organisation.
This edition of Mediawatch Extra, much that I don't want to make any more mentions of Marmite. We did mention it in our programme, the day Marmite back in the shops, and the way that yet again the manufacturers had managed to line up the media coverage of their brand. The Vegan Society of Invercargill have invited us all to their regular potluck dinner. It's a standing invitation, so if any of us are down there... Potluck, yeah. But they raised the point, they thought we might have been a little mean to the Seventh-day Adventists, because we were making the point, this is actually something you pointed out to me, wasn't it, Jeremy, that TV3 had done a daft piece saying that they'd love to be owning the Marmite factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and all of that. And you made the point to me that, well, actually, you could have a stake in the manufacture of Marmite simply by joining the Seventh-day Adventist Church. They own Sanitarium. And this is something Kate Lang had also written to us about.
And this keeps having traction.
Any plans of what you want to take to the potluck?
Haven't thought of it. Vegan cuisine's not my forte, but When will I be in Invercargill? I don't know. Hey,
You should. It's actually quite delicious, and I say that as a meat eater.
And Invercargill's really quite a cool place.
I've got nothing against
Actually, I've
Invercargill.
only been there once.
Right, well, that's enough Marmite, and that's enough Mediawatch Extra for April of 2013. We'll be back again in around about a month, and I take their clip appropriately. We had another one from Jorge Luis Medina in Estadio Falcon, Venezuela. But he wasn't responding to the program. He wants a sticker. He says he's a Venezuelan collector of radio station stickers. My collection's not that big, he says, but every day it's growing. And Jeremy, you've been on his blog to have a look.
I did.
Photographed them all.
I think it's surprisingly big. It's quite impressive. They're not all stickers, I don't think, but he's got quite a lot from the ABC. Nothing from Radio New Zealand, so I thought I might hand this on to our publicity team here at New Zealand, Radio New Zealand. John Barr, he might be interested in flicking them a few, postcards or something.
That's right, you get the exposure up in Venezuela. But in the old days, if you wanted something like this, he sent us this by email. Don't you send in a stamped addressed envelope? I mean, what's airmail to Venezuela? That could set us back, and these are tight times.
That's true, but what's the price of good publicity on another continent?
True enough. Okay, we'll pass that on to Radio New Zealand's communications section.
This might actually be a good time for me to get in a little thank you to the Invercargill Vegan Society, who kindly sent me some Vegan Society badges.
Oh, is this because I appeared on their podcast?
Well, and then we spoke. It was actually because after that we spoke on one of our podcasts about it, and I said that vegan food was quite delicious, and they were so pleased. They contacted me, and then when I said my husband was from Invercargill, from Western Southland, from Otautau, and was interested in veganism, they sent him some fantastic metal badges, much better than a sticker.
Okay, so a shout out to Invercargill Vegans, Venezuelan radio sticker collectors, all part of our audience, it seems, here on Mediawatch.